Hey everybody, Ryan here at Plague Scythe Studios. Welcome to what is simultaneously an early yet very late channel update video. Early because I wanted to release this video after the batch of content that is to follow over the next month or so, and some videos that are even going to follow that. But very late because that batch of videos is in and of itself a year or two, or closing in on 3 years later than I wanted them to be. But you know, that's the way things have been around here. So with that, I thought now would be kind of the best time to make this update video because I'm waiting on some gear to arrive to finish up some of my, shall we call them IOU pieces of content, such as the last Valve State themed edition of the Tone Engineer. There's really nothing else that I had ready to slot in between these time periods, but it's been over a year since my last update anyway, and over a baker's dozen's worth of videos, not to mention probably well over a baker's dozen's worth of hours between all those long videos. So with everything that's going on, I thought now would be the best time. The first major announcement and talking point has to do with what should have been a teaser that released a couple days ago prior to the release of this video. This indeed marks the impending release of a new musical project from yours truly, and a guest drummer as well. This is the same project that I've been hinting at for the past few years, and I think, if I do say so myself, it was well worth the gestation period, the time spent polishing and tracking and going over the lyrics and trying different things out. It's something I think it turned out pretty exceptionally, at least by my personal standards. And if I had to sum it up in one sentence or less, if Cedarum is my instrumental Devin Townsend band, then this is my strapping young lad. There will be vocals, there will be heavy guitars, as you should expect from me. There will be, crunchy bass guitar and live drums, and I can't wait to talk more about it and the personnel involved on this thing. What I will say for now is that for the next 5 Fridays, be sure to stay tuned to the channel because there will be a new song releasing every day up until the full 5-song EP is released. It'll be here, it'll be on Bandcamp, it'll be on all your favorite and most hated streaming platforms, and there will be even another edition or two that you can check out should you want to support this endeavor with your own money. Additionally, between the song releases, there will be some introductory material and even some behind-the-scenes stuff for those of you that are interested in the making of or writing of and all the other stuff that I remembered to capture along the way. But there will certainly be more, shall we say, album-adjacent content in the future that I would love to get to, and in fact, I already have some footage and stuff captured for that. So that'll be a ways down the road. I don't want to, completely bore you guys or burn you guys out on this music entirely in, the span of 1 or 2 months, but at the very least, though I may not have put out a ton of content the past year or so, this will be something that you can enjoy several times a week, and hopefully, if it's that good to your liking, and it hopefully won't wear out its welcome that quickly. Speaking of post-EP video releases, as I mentioned earlier, I very much have a Tone Engineer that I owe you guys. Again, waiting on a piece of gear to be able to finish tracking on that, and hopefully before the end of the summer, I'll have that out and kind of put a bookend on the Valve State chapter of this channel. There's also some pieces of content that will be indirectly related to the EP. I very much would like to make something that kind of talks about my songwriting approach and how I approach 8-string guitars in general. It's something that, plenty of virtuoso guitarists have talked about, but I would like to throw out my own angle about how one that, like myself, I'm no virtuoso by any means, but how someone could find value out of the instrument and look at it from maybe even a 6-string player's perspective and come up with cool, unique sounding things. So that is definitely on the chopping block as well. And then for things that are more directly related to the album, I want to have some tone engineers that will go over my, various tones and mixing and mastering. I want to have at least one kind of gear comparison video to see if I can dial in my album sound with competing gear, maybe even of the budget or free variety. And if I feel up to it, I wouldn't mind doing a live playthrough or maybe studio cover of one of these songs, or maybe even two, if again I can find the time to set aside for that, if there's even interest in such a thing. But that's kind of what I'm most looking forward to in the foreseeable future. Again, there's going to be things that come up, no doubt. I've actually received a few emails that had some very good video ideas that potentially could be sprinkled in between some of those other concepts here and there. But that's kind of my plan of attack for the next 6 to 9 to 12 months, however long it takes, to get these kind of burning topics out of my brain, these to-do list things. And of course, like I said, I'm sure there'll be some plug-in release or something that really catches my eye, and I go, okay, yeah, I have to cover that, or I'm really enjoying this and I want to share information about it. And that's part of the fun of this channel. But looking further beyond that, I think this EP release and the stuff that I want to do going forward is going to mark a bit of a changing of gears for this channel. And I think all this stuff is kind of driven by the same underlying force. For example, one thing that very well could come to fruition within the next couple months is another move, which for those of you, very few of you, I'm sure, that have been here since the start of this YouTube channel are probably laughing to yourself, because this would mark the 6th location, semi-permanent location, that I would have filmed from. And obviously I knew a couple of the places I've lived were going to be temporary, and a couple of them had an expiration date on them, this place included, due to, different life or work circumstances. I've actually been here way longer than I initially intended. But no matter the circumstance, I'm looking to move into a place that is far closer to work, hopefully, slash my commute time in nearly half, and some place that will have just a wee bit more room for other hobbies and, comfortable living. I wouldn't mind a larger spare bedroom, but this one works just fine. And in fact, this has been the best sounding one that I've ever played out of or recorded out of. And really just like, I don't know, freaking 30 more square feet in here would be absolutely perfect, and I can live without it. In fact, it probably does me a lot of favors, because I'm like a goldfish and I just fill the void with a bunch of crap I don't need. So I could fit a few of my, die-hard dream amps on the shelf I already have, and that's probably more than enough I need anyway. Nonetheless, I turned 29 this past year. I'm no longer just in my late 20s. I am the late 20. So encroaching on a whole new decade, I wanted to be in a place that I owned before I turned 30. So that was a big, goal, not so much a financial one, but more of just a personal freedom and ownership kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to that, and obviously spending time with research and house hunting and all that good stuff. And that's definitely taken some time away from video creation. And no doubt will take a huge chunk of time to get all this crap out of here and reset up, if I find something I like in the next couple of months. Because if I don't, I'm kicking this can down the road another 6 months, because piss on moving in the summer and winter again. I've done that. It's ass, even in a relatively temperate climate like the one I live in. So it'll either come to fruition or it won't. But if it does, I'll be sure to let you guys know when it's going to, disrupt content. Maybe it'll just kind of time itself just right, where I have everything set up and I'm like, hey, new place, studio tour. I highly doubt it though. So if there's ever, a big disruption, or there's going to be like a hard cut from one video to the next where I'm in a different place, you'll know ahead of time. I think a lot of that ambition for personal ownership and knocking out my to-do list, if you will, is very much shaping the way that I'm viewing this channel going forward, and driving what I want to accomplish, and maybe most importantly, what I don't want to accomplish or don't care to accomplish. Because like I said, I'm closing in on 30, though my gray hairs might make you think I'm closing in on 60. And I am a different person ever so slightly than I was when I started this YouTube channel. Next year it'll be like 8 years. Just turned past 7 years that I've been doing this YouTube channel. And, kind of fresh out of college, you're not the exact same person you're going to be 6, 7 years ago, regardless of all the other crazy shit that went on a couple years ago. Certainly not as big of a leap from like 14 to 22, but still nonetheless, you grow, you accomplish the things you set out to do, or maybe the things that you set out to do, once you accomplish them, you realize, well, I didn't really change anything anyway, or it wasn't that big of a deal, and I would have rather spent my time doing this. And none of it's wasted to me. But because of your guys' support, because of the constant drive and positive feedback and all the great things that have come from this channel, I've done so much more than I thought I would ever accomplish with it. And it's almost at this point where it's like I could just kind of cruise. I could make a lot easier content, a lot less fulfilling content, and probably pull in, triple the ad revenue that I do and not sweat too hard about it. But all the major things that I really want to accomplish, I think I'm closing in on like that 85-90% level. Obviously, there's dream content I've always wanted to do, and there's some stuff that I may never get to, but I would be satisfied if I got to those next 20 or so really hard-hitting concepts that I think about all the time. And I could foresee that happening over the course of the next few years. Certainly not within the next year, almost certainly not the year after that. But what is driving a lot of that in parallel to just accomplishing a lot of this stuff, again, thanks to you guys and having this positive feedback loop, is that I just want to spend more time on my own music. I want to spend less time, learning other people's material so I can track it for a review, and more time honing my own skills and making my own sound and touching up some of those riff ideas and cultivating them into their own songs. I want to spend less time dialing in gear for a shootout and a little more time dialing in my sound and programming MIDI instruments and composing, and I think that's just a natural progression, because as much new stuff as there always is with guitar gear, and there will always be things that I find interesting and that I want to cover and that I want to give a shot to potentially grow my effects library. At the end of the day, I feel like I've kind of caught up. You know what I'm saying? There are new things out there, of course, but it's all basically the same sort of concepts. There might be a great delay pedal out there, and it may be able to do a couple different modes that some of my stuff doesn't, or modes at the same time, or be faster switching, or have some really cool sweep parameter, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still a delay pedal, and I've got delay that I like. So what is it going to do that I want it to do that I can't already do with the stuff I have? And I've been at that level of gear for a long while, and having owned Fractal Audio Systems stuff pretty much put me there 5-6 years ago. So what I'm ultimately getting at is that for every hour that I've spent historically working on this YouTube channel, I'd like to take 45 minutes or more of that and put it towards music going forward, because I have so many damn ideas, and I don't think necessarily all of them are worth even releasing, or maybe not even worth your time to listen to in, the most well-produced state. But there's things that I feel obligated to get out just to scratch that itch, in the same way that this upcoming EP is. It represents a time in my life, or some memory, or some event, or some feeling that I just need to put in a box and get it the hell out of my way so I can experience the here and now a little bit better. So when I have a new riff idea or a lyrical concept I want to explore, I don't feel guilty for working on this one without finishing the last one. So I can feel like the gear that I've already purchased is working towards a real meaningful cause for me, one that's emotional, one that is fulfilling, instead of just kind of being a catalyst to sell more of somebody else's product, which there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy doing that, but I want to kind of shift focus in the not too far off future to be more, musically based, which might sound obvious, but compared to the stuff that I've been doing, I can foresee myself, especially after this album and especially after finishing off some of the real high priority stuff for me, slowly backing off on the frequency of videos even more so, and hopefully putting out music in a greater frequency, probably not once a year, maybe once every couple of years, and sprinkled throughout those releases, making some more high value, at least in my opinion, high effort videos that I really want to cover, like pedal heads, like tone engineers, like maybe covering some pertinent topics that I think people aren't talking about. But that's kind of my outlook for the next, 1 to 5 years of this YouTube channel. I'm not just going to ever completely disappear, but I kind of want to do the stuff that I really, really want to do and then just fuck off and play guitar a little bit more than I have. And I think every piece of this gigantic puzzle I'm talking about is moving me towards that direction that I want to. So I'm not going to disappear overnight or anything like that, but just kind of want to update you where my headspace is at and hopefully hype you for this upcoming EP. So I very much hope you enjoy it. Thank you so very much for listening as always, and we will see you rather soon with some pretty exciting stuff. Till then, bye.